sure.
That was resounding.
Adrian N. Breitfelder, City Clerk, you are hereby directed to call a special session of the City Council to be held on Monday, August 15th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. in the historic Federal Building for the purpose of conducting work sessions on federal and state grant updates and Imagine Dubuque.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to a special session of the Dubuque City Council for August 15th, 2022. As a reminder to viewers and listeners, due to the nature of tonight's meeting topic, public input is not accepted. However, you may contact the City Council directly from the city's webpage at www.cityofdubuque.org/council-contacts. Attendance for the session is as follows. Mayor Kavanaugh?
Here.
Council members Farber?
Here.
Jones?
Here.
Resnick?
Here.
Roussel?
Here.
Sprank?
Here.
Wethel?
Here.
City Manager Van Milligan?
Here.
You? And City Attorney Brumwell.
Here.
Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, Wally. Thank you very much.
All right, so let's do this. That's
Yeah.
our Imagine Dubuque slogan there. So, yes, so Planning Services Manager Wally Wernmont, and here with me tonight is Chris Happ-Olson. He's our project manager that helps implement the Imagine Dubuque plan. Jason Duba was going to be in attendance with us tonight, but however, he's home attending a sick child. So we're going to be able to kind of give you an update or annual update to the comprehensive plan, which we call Imagine Dubuque here before you. So just kind of go over the brief history. I know we've gone through this a few times. We do have some new members that were not here last time when we had the annual update, but you know, our first comprehensive plan was in 1936, and as City Manager Mike Van Milligan likes to remind us, when he came here in the early 90s, he picked up the comprehensive plan and realized it was dated in 1936, which was not a good thing, and understanding what happened in the 80s. So in 1995, we did a new comprehensive plan. We've had several updates to that plan, but in 2017, we did a comprehensive update to the entire plan. Actually, not an update. We actually went out and just restarted an entire new comprehensive plan for that. And that, you know, so the questions get brought up. So what's the purpose of this comprehensive plan, right? You hear about the comp plan through planning. It's required by state law. But a comprehensive plan is really, it is your guide for your community's physical, social, and economic development of your entire community. And I like to refer to it as community, not city. So when I look at comp plans and other associated plans, I just don't refer to like just the city of Dubuque, because it does impact our neighbors in the county and the surrounding municipalities. But there's a lot of things that we can't do as ourselves. We need our entire community to help us move forward these recommendations, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then Chris will be able to go through some of the recommendations and our status of our plans. So it also informs you for City Council goal setting and your annual budget priorities, hence the reason why we like to hold this annual presentation to you right before you do your City Council goal setting, just to kind of keep that fresh in your mind. And as I mentioned, city staff, our boards and commissions, the community at large helps us move forward these recommendations. So when we did this plan, it just wasn't city staff getting together and saying this is what we need to do. No, we engaged 6,000 people, generated 12,500 ideas, and those were all narrowed down into 7 categories, 35 subcategories, and then 110 community recommendations that we're actively moving forward. And like I mentioned, we can't do it by ourselves. It's a community plan. So as we talk about with people planning and partnerships, we definitely need partnerships to help implement to move forward this plan to fruition. So how do we do that? We have a collective impact model. The Planning Services Department serves as that backbone organization, and we work with different sectors of our community to help move forward a common agenda or help identify some of those recommendations and help assist with the implementation of that. And that format involves with our connectors, which are department heads. And as Chris goes through each section, she'll help identify the department head and some of the recommendations that are associated with that. But those connectors then work with coordinators, and those coordinators can be anywhere from city staff to people in our community or helping move forward recommendations, nonprofits, several other organizations throughout our community, and then also those champions. So those are the people on the ground actually doing the work to help implement or help move forward those recommendations, and that's anyone. Anyone could be a champion. Anybody can look at that comprehensive plan and help identify, this is something that really moves me, is something I want to be involved with, help move forward with that. So we just don't have one group just moving forward one recommendation. What we'd like to do is get multiple groups helping to move forward that recommendation forward. We were going to do a live demonstration. We've done that last time, but in lieu of that, I'd like to give you the handout in your packet that kind of gives you a step-by-step how to go through all the information and help access how we're doing with the progress. As we go through this presentation, we don't have enough time to go through the sheer amount of 110 recommendations. But as we move forward that, we're going to have Chris Olson get up here and kind of talk about our progress, where we were from last year to where we are now, talk about a few of those different groups and help identify some recommendations that we're moving forward and just kind of the progress that we're doing with the plan. So, well, Chris.
Thank you. That's good. The adjustment's really nice. So, my name's Chris Happ Olson. I am an assistant planner in the Planning Services Department, and I'm a project manager for Imagine Dubuque. We came to speak to you last year, and we had our first update for Imagine Dubuque. It was really our baseline for being able to collect information, work with the organization that we had built of our connectors, coordinators, and champions to be able to implement and manage the plan, be able to understand how we're doing. It was a complicated system to get that whole system up in place. I think it's a pretty unique one, but it allows us to keep our finger on each of the 110 recommendations that we have within our plan. Last year, we came and we reported that 64% of our recommendations were in the underway or completed and ongoing category. And this year, that was really the middle of COVID, about a year and a half into it. And this year we come back and we are now at 73% underway or completed and ongoing. So it's moving the needle. This is a 20-year plan, doesn't happen immediately, but we are moving the needle on being able to implement these recommendations in our community with our partners. So each one of these categories that we show you will show you this progress update and how they're doing. So our first category is economic prosperity. Jill Connors is our connector in this particular one. And last year, we were at 78% underway, completed or ongoing. We're at the same point this year. But if you look at the charts that we have on the right, you see that some of those, 2 of them, there's only 7 total, I think, or there's a little bit more than that, 9. 2 of them have moved over into the completed and ongoing. So we're able to go ahead and track how we're doing along the way. Under economic prosperity, we have employment, housing, and business. And one of the recommendations that we have under employment is continue to diversify Dubuque's economy. And so you can see the big improvements that we have made as a community toward being able to create livable wage jobs through the expansion and new business that has been implemented. Our second category is sustainable environment. Gina Bell serves as our connector for that category. And she has, let's see, 5 subcategories under her. One of them is eco-education, which we'll tell you a little bit more about. Clean water, clean air and energy, neighborhoods, and land conservation are other ones. We can see in this one, we've moved from 82% in the underway to completed or ongoing to 91%. So you can really see that we moved some of those getting started and the underways over into that completed and ongoing status. Here's a nice example of one of the areas that's moved forward with eco-education. Promoting children's environmental education falls into that subcategory, and this was a great partnership with the Multicultural Family Center, with our Public Information Office to be able to create education around what goes down our storm drains. So The next category is social cultural vibrancy. It's our largest category. We have 7 different subcategories in this one. Food, which is the first time we've had that show up in one of our plans. Empowerment, arts and culture, green buildings and historic preservation, safety, health, and recreation. And so here we see we've really moved the needle. This one has seen probably the most movement of any of our categories, from 65% to 84%. And one of the highlights that we have under green buildings and historic preservation is to promote preservation, adaptive reuse of buildings and materials. And with the Restore Habitat for Humanity working to open their first Restore here in Dubuque, they now have a manager on board. They're looking for another staff person in order to be able to open. So it's a great victory. Livable neighborhoods and housing is the next category. Alexis Staker is our connector for this one. And we've moved from 50% underway or completed and ongoing to 70%. We have just those 2, livable neighborhoods and housing, as subcategories in this area. And under housing, we find outreach and education to increase participation in the Housing Choice Voucher Program. The Housing Department has a great page of resources for landlords. There's all sorts of different programs that are available, and educational information, as well as a video to be able to educate them about the program and kind of dispel myths and tell them more about it. The next category is community facilities. Casa Hoyas is our connector for this particular one. We are still in the same status when we look at underway and ongoing, but you can see we've made some progress, a little bit of progress in the needs resources and getting started area. And we've moved some of our underway over to completed and ongoing. So you see that shift that's not always readily apparent. But we are making progress when we look at this. Under this category, we have infrastructure, public safety, and municipal structures. And one of the recommendations that we have under infrastructure is expanding the fiber optic network access. There's so much that goes into being able to prepare and to lay the fiber and be able to use it. And it affects so much in our community, from public services to business and residential. So we've made a lot of progress in this area, both on the city side as well as the business side for the community. So the next category is transportation and mobility, and Ryan Knuckey is our connector for this particular one. We haven't made a whole lot of progress here. This is one particularly, this particular category was really hit by COVID. And so we're coming back, but we're still recovering from that. So we see under this particular category, we have complete streets, public transit, air travel, regional connections, and automobile travel. And under regional connections, we have the transportation and mobility highlight of partnering with DOTs to promote safe, efficient roadway connections. In this case, we have taking over the Northwest Arterial and being able to make those improvements in that area. You know, we have other examples like our safe streets with the JFK sidewalks in this category. And our last category is land use. It's another big one. We have single and multifamily, mixed use, institutional, commercial, industrial, and then parks and recreation. We've moved the needle a little bit here from 63% to 67%. And we've got a great example here of Miracle League Park. This is just a fantastic resource for the community. this hits on so many recommendations that we have in Imagine Dubuque, helping to, further the work and further opportunities for all sectors of our community. So this is just a great example here. And last, I just wanted to touch on that needs resources category. When we came to you last year, we had 5 recommendations in the needs resources category. We've moved 3 of them from needs resources to getting started. And I'm not going to go through all of them here, but you can see that there are 2 still under needs resources, and then we've moved those other 3 forward. So just wanted to give that to you as top of mind. And I'm going to let Wally come on back. And I'll return the favor.
Yeah. Oops. Felt like come on down, like the Price is Right. So last time we presented to you, the City Focus magazine was not out for publication. That went out late fall after our update. And we were very happy that it went out to 29,000 residents and businesses. But then we also saw a nice uptick in our website hits with our Imagine Dubuque plan. We had a lot of residents and community members contacting us about the plan, asking various questions. So that's certain things that we like to reach out and kind of keep it fresh in everyone's mind that we do have this plan. There is an opportunity to help assist with us. And that publication that Randy Gale and the Public Information Office put together was fabulous. We have it in our office, and we like to hand it out and inform people about it as well. So the comprehensive plan, how does it align with your city council goals and priorities? So one thing that we're working on is this new software that's called Achieve It. I think you've received some information about it, and one of the first things with that software was to start working in some of that reporting mechanisms for the city council goals and priorities, but then also the first plan, the first strategic plan, comprehensive plan. We're working with the city manager's office to get that put into that software. And the beauty of that software is it allows us to cross-reference multiple plans where there's common goals, common recommendations, not only just in the city council goals and priorities, but then also in the comprehensive plan, but the climate action plan, the equitable poverty reduction prevention plan, all the several documents that we have associated in our community. But then also maybe having opportunities to implement other plans that may be part of our partners to help with that cross-referencing, maybe to help with grant writing and maybe some prioritization of certain things. But then also what we've done when we were going through council goal setting last year was we would have all these ideas and recommendations that were created by members and city council yourselves. So we take that information in. We've been working with the city manager's office. Chris has been working with the BSHIC to take all those recommendations and see what's aligning with our Imagine Dubuque plan. So if there's a suggestion, this is going to move forward, a recommendation to kind of give that information to you ahead of time. So when you're having your city council goal setting, you have those that help identify, hey, if we look at moving this forward, or this is going to be a city council goal or recommendation, it's actually going to be moving forward one of our elements of our comprehensive plan. So next steps, we'll continue to use our website for the marketing and outreach and reporting that we have. We'll continue to work with trying to identify those champions to help move forward those recommendations. So I know I'm giving a presentation to you, but we're on TV. So hey, public out there, we need your help. Contact our office. Take a look at that plan. We'll definitely help move forward some more recommendations because it is your plan. It's not just the city's plan, it's everyone's plan. And as we work forward and implement that, it'll help make Dubuque a greater place, greater than what it already is. We talked about Achieve It, and then also we have some activation funds that were put in our budget from last year that have been approved for fiscal year 23. That funding is to help assist with maybe moving forward certain implementations that may need a little bit of funding to help get something off the ground and get moving. So that's all we have. Chris and I are available to answer any questions that you may have of this large document that sits before you and I use every day in my life. And you hear me rattle off when you come here for staff reports and public hearings.
So a living document, so to speak.
It is.
Not something that's sitting on a shelf gathering dust.
It is not.
Thank you, Wally and Chris, for this presentation. Questions or discussion? Yeah, Ms. Wethel.
One thing I appreciate that I think going into goal setting, we should all look at are those still needs resources. And one that stuck out that we're going to be talking about, something that relates to it tonight, is the C7B, Social and Cultural Vibrancy, Community, Health, Wellness, Recreation. And I think that that is something going into a lot of things I've heard from the community of recent impassions. I think we've got movement. I think I'm excited because I think there's a lot that we can do on that one. And I sense that next year, my hope is that that will be better than still needs resources.
It's great to hear.
Thank you. Mr. Resnick, go ahead.
Right, I didn't know if I was
Ms. Farber's
gonna
not
be-
raising her hand, so you're up first.
All right, I didn't know if I was going to be allowed, but, it's great, the implementation has champions, and many of them are individuals. But have you reached out to some of the neighborhood groups and other group partners that we have? We have so many wonderful groups of citizens. We're going to hear from one of them tonight at the council meeting, who, they work in the community and they have our community at heart. So have we also contacted those groups and say, hey, these 3 would be fantastic for your group to consider, maybe 2. Okay, well, how about starting with 1? Have you already looked into that?
Yeah, you bet. So as planners, just our trade, we're active listeners. So we actually monitor things all the time. So when we hear about someone that's already working forward and kind of moving a recommendation, we do reach out to them, say, hey, we need to help assist. Can you help assist us with moving forward this recommendation? We have that ongoing communication. Chris, I don't know if you want to kind of speak to some of this too, but yeah, anytime we find that information, we sit through, we do reach out to them and help us assist us moving forward some of those very important elements of the plan. So, because a lot of times, one of the big things about us is some people don't even realize we have a comprehensive plan or what a comp plan is. So we're constantly trying to educate our public and helping find out that, yes, you as a resident or a community partner or anyone in our tri-state area can help us move forward a plan element and make a difference. So,
Thank you.
yep.
All right. Well, I think we very much appreciate you coming before us right now, a week before we do think about goals and priorities, because it is important that we keep this a living document, like you said, so to make sure that we are absolutely looking at it on a regular basis, but especially right now. So thank you for the update.
You bet.
We appreciate that. And I believe there are no further questions and no further business in this work session, so we will stand adjourned.